You know, my friends, I think it's safe to say that most of us have opinions and make judgments about all sorts of things. It seems that we're always making judgments about the value of all sorts of stuff. How well we like a particular food, or a particular movie, or a particular song, or a particular politician. And what I often hear people saying about things that don't live up to their expectations is something like this: I really don't get anything out of it. I don't get anything out of that person. And so it may not surprise you when I say that most often when I hear that phrase, I really don't get anything out of it, when it comes to one particular aspect of our lives, I think of one thing. I'm talking about faith, religion, church. Take your pick. You know, it actually makes me feel sad to hear people talk that way. I don't get anything about my faith. And I feel that way for two reasons. First of all, it makes me wonder if I myself, as well as others in pastoral ministry, are failing in some way. Failing to present our faith as something really so beautiful and so life-giving. But I also feel sad because that sort of statement shows, just how hardwired we have become. Hardwired to expect our life experiences to be judged simply by what's in it for us. But what can we get? We seem to somehow have forgotten the deep truth that a life well lived is not about what we can get. It's about what we can give. That is, it's about what we can offer, willingly, not grudgingly. What we can lovingly do, what we can offer. I guess you could say when it comes to faith, we sometimes get things backwards. Today we celebrate this feast, this presentation of the Lord, a feast always celebrated on February 2nd. So in this case, it's been 5 years since it last fell on a Sunday. And some may wonder why this feast is such a unique celebration in the life of the church. After all, it's really not explicitly part of our lives as Catholics. Some aspects of it are actually antiquated. So is that really all that today is about? Remembering some ritual in the life of Jesus from the distant past that took place 40 days exactly after his birth? Or is it more than that? On one hand, there are many aspects of the story that really are hard to grasp, hard to get our minds around, such as that women had to be purified right after childbirth. And that was to fulfill the law of Moses, something every observant Jewish person would feel strongly obligated to do. But there's another aspect of the story, the offering to God of the baby Jesus, a firstborn male, also to fulfill the law of Moses. However, the law allowed for a substitution, 2 turtle doves or pigeons. These would take the place of the baby being offered. And in the ancient world, a firstborn son was considered the most valued. He would be responsible for the family's well-being. And so this ritual, as outdated as it might seem, has something really beautiful at the heart of it. Mary and Joseph were willing to give to God their best, in a sense, their very best selves. This ritual was a commitment to always give God all that a person had and all that a person was. And of course, we know that Jesus lived that reality every day of his life, all the way to the cross. And yet, in our day and age, Many of us so often come to church wondering, just wondering, if we're going to get something out of it. Say some prayers, wondering if we're going to get anything out of it. Or give to charities or do some small acts of kindness, wondering if we're going to get anything out of it. And in doing so, we fail to recognize what a faithful life looks like. Now, make no mistake about it, my friends, our faith gives us so much more than we can imagine, and so much more than we deserve. That is because it is God doing the giving. And the first step in a life of authentic faith is recognizing all the blessings that God has and continues to shower down upon us. There's no true love of God without admitting and recognizing and embracing the truth that God has loved us first. Everything else is a response to that awesome reality. So living our faith does not involve trying to get God's good favor. It doesn't involve striving to receive more and more and more from God. It is allowing our openness to God's grace to motivate us to give to God all that we can and all that we are. And we do that not simply by coming to Mass week after week and saying some prayers. We do that by loving those we come into contact with outside of these walls who could use a little kindness and compassion, understanding and love. Now, friends, while the presentation of Jesus might seem like an out-of-date ritual, it is actually what we're all called to do every day. And that is to resist the temptation to embrace our faith or what's in it for us. Instead, let us embrace and strengthen our faith by offering ourselves in service to the one whose love we can never repay, and by giving to others what we have already received.